Hi, let's talk about the time I locked myself out. Twice. But first of all, I feel like we need a little bit more light here, don't we? So, much better, don't you think? So, the title is quite self-explanatory, but let's tell you the story anyway, right? You know the thing when you get all paranoid just because you're alone at home and you lock all the doors because somebody, this mysterious somebody might break into your house and murder you for no valid reason, just because you're alone at home, right? And well, I just got one tip for you. If you lock the doors, make sure you're inside the house. So, the story begins with me being alone, and I got all paranoid. I locked all the doors. Nothing wrong with that, but then I walked downstairs, and as soon as I heard the door fall shut behind me, I realized, oh damn it! I couldn't get back up because the door is locked from if you want to go up. It's open if you want to go down, but it's locked if you want to go up. And so there I was, alone at home in the middle of the night, locked downstairs. Great. Well, I went outside. That's the only place I could go. Barefoot, of course, no shoes. It was raining, and I tried to go to the front door, which I locked, of course, and I tried to do the garage. I mean, you can go in the garage because you got this tick tick, and it opened automatically, but then you're in the garage, and the garage door to the house is locked, of course, and you know, half an hour and a full-grown panic attack later, I decided to walk around the house and try every possible way to get in, somehow, you know, somehow. And luck was on my side because when I locked one door to the back of the house, apparently it wasn't quite closed. It was one of those sliding doors and I didn't close it properly. So I managed to get in and I was like so happy to be inside a house. I don't think I've ever been as happy to be inside a house. And I swore to myself, this is never gonna happen to me again. I was in such a shock. Bad. And I swore to myself that I would wear the key around my neck and never let go of it. It's a beautiful story, right? And that's the moment where it gets ridiculous. Because the next night, the very next night, I was alone at home again. It was raining. It was in the middle of the night and I got home and I checked twice, of course, to have my keys with me. Put it around my neck, as I said, and I got home safe and I opened the door and I went in and locked the door behind me and everything was fine, of course, and then I put my keys on the kitchen table and I went to feed the cats. And there was this very moment when I went into the garage to feed cats. And I heard this sound behind me and I was like, no! Because the door had locked behind me and of course, this time I knew that I made sure that every door is locked properly and that there was absolutely no way to get back inside again. I was in such a shock about my own stupidity, you wouldn't believe it. And I don't know. For some reason at this moment my memory gets kind of blurry and I'm like, what happened then? I must have been like in such a shock that I can't remember anymore. But it's really kind of weird. Well, I guess my brain was so overpowered by this whole situation that it couldn't process my thoughts anymore. And I was just going nuts. The second night in a row, me running around the house and this time with shoes on actually, and somehow, and don't ask me how because I really have no idea, I managed to get inside again. And after that whole experience, I remember I swore something to myself again, and this time it was that I just wouldn't care if a murderer comes into my house. Well, as long as he doesn't lock the doors behind him. Bye. The title is quite self-explanatory. So, oh damn it.